The Giants just wrapped up their 8th training camp practice of the summer, and we're going to react to it as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. The defense won the day, just a day removed from Daniel Jones having his best practice of training camp, but this time it was the front four. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, they got the best of the offensive line. DJ got sacked a couple more times than I would have liked, but it's always a good thing when your best players are playing good football at training camp, and that's what Brian Burns did today. We'll talk about him and the rest of the team around the corner, but I just wanted to start with some injury news, and let's start with the guy that got carted off at practice, and that's third-year offensive lineman Joshua Ezeudu out of North Carolina. He's been playing at tackle. He's been playing at guard. He was able to walk off the field at practice today, but he did hop on that cart to go inside the training facility. Hopefully he's ready to go sooner rather than later, as the depth across the offensive line, especially at that swing tackle position, is pretty limited. A fan favorite, Bryce Ford Wheaton, also had to leave practice today. Unsure of what the injury is at this current moment. I was told he left under his own decision, but we will keep you up to date. That's why you subscribe to the channel. Isaiah McKenzie, he left today with what appeared to be a back injury after catching a pass. He got hit, I believe, by Deontay Johnson and was clutching his lower back, and he did not return at practice either. DJ Davidson also left at practice, the third-year interior defensive lineman out of Arizona State, the former seventh-round pick. Don't know his injury as well. He left, as well as Jack Stoll. He left with a knee injury. It did not look good. It happened in a 7-on-9 running inside run drill that the Giants were running on and working on and things like that. But Jack Stoll, the guy the Giants signed early on free agency, the blocking tight end from the Philadelphia Eagles, he had to leave practice with what appeared to be a knee injury. Look, I'm already tired of talking about injuries. John Michael Schmitz has missed 5 practices. Tyler Nubin has missed a couple practices. We haven't even seen Evan Neal yet. If you are tired of the injuries, hit that thumbs up icon, man. I do not want to spend another season blaming injuries for this team not producing. And today, 5 people, they had to leave practice after already a couple of starters have been unable to go. Some good news, and something I like talking about a whole lot more, and that is Malik Neighbors. And another day, another dollar, and another highlight for Malik Neighbors. It seems like every single day he tops the performance that he did the prior day, and he continues to dominate at Giants training camp. Had a nice couple of plays, was working on some triple moves, a little out-up comeback on Deonte Banks and Neighbors. They went toe-to-toe time and time again through practice today, and iron sharpens iron. It's good on good, and I love seeing those two young dudes go face-to-face and try to make each other better. It seems like Neighbors has gotten the better of that battle, but I like how Banks is competing, and I know both these guys are getting better because of this. Overall, though, the defense won practice. I would say the Giants' offense won practice yesterday, or I guess that was 2 days ago now at this point, but the defense won the practice today, and it was because of the pass rush and the front four. The defensive line was creating a lot of pressure on the Giants. Giants offense is working on some 4th and long drills, so you're already going to have to create some more time. But Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, even Elijah Chapman, the UDFA at SMU, they did not give Daniel Jones the time he needed to throw the ball downfield and create big chunk plays. The play of the day was Brian Burns coming off the left edge. A lot of people thought it was a Jalen Hyatt touchdown because Daniel Jones rolled out of the pocket to the right and found Hyatt on the back line of the end zone with a nice little hands catch. But Brian Burns comes off the edge with a nasty spin move. He leaves Jermaine Illuminor in the sauce, put him in the spin cycle, and it was awesome to see. That's why you give up a second-round pick. That's why you write a check for $150 million for the plays that Brian Burns can make, and he made a lot of them today, and he showed you why he is going to be a big difference maker for the Giants and why he's been doing it his entire career. Love seeing Burns make plays, and I can't wait to see, if he does play in the preseason, what he's going to do against opposing teams. Dexter Lawrence, after having kind of a veteran day yesterday, I guess you could call it, or 2 days ago, I don't even remember what day of the week it is, but he was back at practice, and you could tell. There was a couple plays where you feel like the offensive line just wasn't really ready to block Dexter Lawrence. A little bit different from blocking Raheem Nunez-Roches or Jordan Phillips or DJ Davidson. compared to Sexy Dexy number 97. Best interior defensive lineman in the league. And when you can go 5, 97, and 0 all on the offensive line, against the offensive line at one time, it's going to be tough no matter who it is. Kayvon Thibodeau also had a couple of nice reps. We saw him get some pressure, and it's always good to see Tibbs get involved. And he's the guy that I'm looking to take an even bigger step than he did from year 1 to year 2. It's year 3, and I want to see him be more of a consistent player. Yes, he had like 11 sacks last year, but down in and down out, I want to feel and I want to see the impact of Kayvon Thibodeau. He can be that guy. There's a reason he went number 5 in the draft. There's a reason he was a top high school commit and one of the best players in college football at Oregon. He needs to put it together, and it should be the easiest year of his NFL career because he's got number 97 and number 0 that are probably taking up more attention of opposing offensive lines. The UDFA that has surprised me the most has been Alex Johnson, the DB out of UCLA that's been working as a safety. But the interior defensive lineman, Elijah Chapman, the UDFA out of SMU, the last couple of days he's been turning up the heat, and he is making everybody take notice of the plays that he is making. And I think he's got a real opportunity to make this roster because he's already been working with the first-team defense from time to time. When you're a UDFA, and we're not even 8 days into Giants training camp, and you're making plays like he is, getting pressure on Daniel Jones, working in the first team, that's awesome. Is he a little undersized? Yes, he is. But what's different about him compared to other defensive linemen is he is actually a pass rusher. At 6 foot, 278 pounds, he's got quickness. He's able to beat the offensive line off the snap. And we're already seeing those pass rushing powers and ability come through at training camp. And if you can line him up next to Dexter, Lawrence, Burns, and Thibodeau, you could have 4 people that are ready to pin their ears back and put pressure on opposing quarterbacks. We're going to talk more about Jalin Hyatt as well as Wan'Dale Robinson and the rest of Giants practice. But I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know. Who do you think is going to have more sacks for the Giants this year? Is it Burns? Is it Dexter? Is it Tibbs? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And make sure you're hooked up with our proud sponsor, Game Time, the #1 ticketing app in the game. Open up the App Store on your phone, type in Game Time, and download it. The logo looks like this. And use that promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. I've used all of the different ticketing apps out there, and they're good. They're just not as good as Game Time. They don't look out for you like Game Time does. You get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed, last-minute tickets, and flash deals. The app is super user-friendly. You get views from the seats inside the app when you're debating on, do I want to buy this ticket or do I want to buy this ticket? And the app makes sure you get the lowest price guaranteed. And I think that's something that everybody can appreciate. You want to go to the Giants preseason game next week against the Lions? Get your ticket with Game Time. You want to go catch the Mets or the Yankees this summer? Do it with Game Time. Ready to buy some Knicks tickets? Do it with Game Time. I am a Game Time guy. It's the only app I use at this point to buy tickets because I know they're taking care of me, and I know I'm going to get the best deal for the lowest price guaranteed. Download the app, create an account, and use the promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. That's ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's video. Wan'Dale Robinson continues to show his ability as a big-time playmaker in training camp. And today, he beat Trey Herndon on a nasty route up the sideline. I know a lot of people are expecting Wan'Dale Robinson to operate in the slot, as am I. And people will correlate that with he only really works underneath. He's only really running drag routes, out routes, slants, and working in the short to intermediate part of the field. But let's not forget what he was at Kentucky. He was one of the guys that led the nation in deep yards, and I still think that he can possess that ability in the National Football League. I'm excited to see what the former second-round pick does this year for Big Blue. It also looked like Daniel Jones, just overall, was working on back shoulder fades today. We saw him throw a couple to Malik Neighbors, but the ones that he found Jalin Hyatt on were awesome. These came in the red zone. And look, if you're a quarterback and the DB is showing you the back of his head, it means he can't see you. So just throw it at the back of his head. You know the defenders are going to be playing on the top of Hyatt, and Daniel Jones made a couple of really nice throws today on that. If Hyatt and DJ or DJ and Neighbors can continue to build on that chemistry and find a way to consistently complete that pass, it can take this red zone offense to another level. There is not a defender in the world that can guard a perfectly thrown back shoulder pass. It's the only play in football that is unguardable, and if they can get that on time and on target, this team is going to be a lot better than we would have thought. Something that I thought popped off the page to me and interesting today from watching training camp practice was Tyrone Tracy got a lot of reps at practice today. He was working with the ones, working with the twos, and we've talked about it over the past couple of days that the running back 2 job is wide open. I'm almost of the belief that Eric Gray is on the roster bubble, and if he does not produce in the preseason, we could see him be cut. And the Giants look to use Tyrone Tracy as that RB2 and Dante Miller as that RB3 and Jashaun Corbin or Sailors as that RB4. Tracy working with the ones, more of a receiving back and a big play explosive threat than Gray. Gray has struggled as a pass blocker. He did last year in the preseason. Once again in training camp, he's had some struggles. And man, if you can't block, that means you can't play on third down as a running back. And Tracy's a better receiving back than Gray, and I've been told that Tracy looks much more like a pro-ready pass protector as a running back. Tyler Nubin, who returned to practice earlier this week after missing a couple, he looks good, and you can just kind of tell why the Giants fell in love with this prospect. Everybody that scouted him in college talked about how he was a leader, how he was a high IQ player. He does what he has to do, and he puts other players in position as well to be successful. And I do believe that he's going to be the safety of the future for this team, and he is going to be your Xavier McKinney replacement. Does he start week 1? I don't know. I do know that he's going to play a lot of football because Shane Bowen wants to operate with a lot of DBs on the field. He ran that dime package personnel, 6 DBs on the field at once at a 24% clip during his time as the defensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, the second highest number in the league. So you're going to see multiple 3 safety looks with Pennock, Belton, and Nubin all on the field at one time. And that's going to be a lot of fun, and I just can't wait, man. I cannot wait. We are almost there. The Giants, they are off until Sunday, so no training camp practice on Saturday. They'll be back at it on Sunday, and then it's game week, and they are getting it started with joint practices like they did last year. Giants and Lions will come together for joint practices, and that's really where you can get kind of a litmus test for where some of these guys are at, because it's hard to get a true evaluation of when you're just going over the same guys day in and day out. The defense starts to learn the plays. The offense knows what's going to beat the defense when they're lined up in certain looks. But when you're going against somebody in a different helmet and a different jersey that you don't know inside and out and you don't really watch film on them, you can get a true test to see where your team is. And I can't wait for Monday and Tuesday, but it's Thursday. Thursday night football that's keeping me up at night because we are less than a week away from New York Giants preseason being kicked off. And there are a lot of storylines to pay attention to. Like, I know that training camp can be long and it can get a little boring and stale, but man, there's a lot to look forward to at the first preseason game for the New York Giants. Will Daniel Jones play? The Malik Neighbors show. How much does he play? QB2 battle of Drew Lock versus Tommy DeVito. Who's going to win that CB2 battle between Cordell Flott and Nick McLeod? And the RB2 battle, who will it be? Eric Gray? Will it be Tyrone Tracy? Will it be somebody else? I'm pumped up for the training camp. For training camp to kind of come to a close and preseason to get rolling, because that means week 1 is almost here. If you're ready for Giants football, hit that thumbs up icon for me. We're going to be live on the channel an hour before kickoff next Thursday. We'll have live play-by-play. We'll be hanging out. We'll do a tailgate show before. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I want to see you there. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_. So hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue.